Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to talk about spiritual awakening in this video. I touched upon it a little bit in the last video and I realized I had a lot more to say. I'm here in my blow-up kayak, Coquitlam, BC at White Pine Beach. I don't know what's come over me. I've just felt like being a little more creative with my backdrops. Actually, I do know what's come over me, but it's irrelevant. So I hope you enjoy the view. Try to do a little circle here to give you guys some different scenery. But in a previous video, I talked about spiritual awakening, and the best advice that I had was to be easy on yourself. Now, if you find that your world's just been turned upside down and you're hearing the word spiritual awakening for the first time, congratulations, you're in the same boat that I was. Not my block kayak that I'm in right now, but the spiritual awakening boat. Now, I didn't know anything about a spiritual awakening until I was so depressed that I started looking on YouTube for self-help videos, and I came across this phrase, spiritual awakening. And my awakening was pretty brutal. As soon as my mom passed away, it was like that. I was like, okay, who am I? Why am I like this? Who am I married to? Why am I doing my job? I was questioning everything. And you know, it was extremely hard. I was very hard on myself, you could say. You know, I looked at who I become and I was just like, after 13 months, I was like, okay, I'm too far gone to heal, so why not just end it, right? And there was a bunch of things. The cherry on top was getting back at God by killing myself. But, you know, there was a whole bunch of reasons. And one of the next best pieces of advice that I could give anyone that's going through a spiritual awakening, other than be easy on yourself, is to be easy on those around you. Now, what do I mean? Well, one of the most horrific realizations that I had, other than I became this monster controlled by rage, was the fact that, you know, people I thought had my best interests didn't really have my best interest, whether it was lifelong friends, family members, this and that, you know. So you have to go easy on the people that you thought were your homies or family that don't really have your best interests. Now, why is that? How do you do that? Well, to have more compassion for these individuals, you just need to realize that, you know, if you're going through awakening, then you were stuck most of your life, and that's just where these people are. You know, in 2001, I bought a Honda Civic, right? I pretty much, because I was raised in a poor family, I always saw investing in brand new cars as a poor investment. And so I drove that car to the ground. And when I mean that, I mean like I sold it last year. So from 2001 to 2022, I drove the same Honda Civic, right? Now, when I got divorced in 2020, you know, me and my partner were together for 22 years. We invested in real estate. When I got my half of the settlement, I found myself having more money than ever. And it still took me 2 years to end up pushing myself to go buy a new vehicle. But eventually I went out, paid 60 grand cash for a new SUV. And when I brought it home, you know, I was kind of expecting my old man to say congratulations or nice ride, this and that. And all he really did was kind of tear down my choices for interior color and my selection. And then the next thing I know, he goes out, and even though he couldn't really afford it, he buys the same one. Now, at first my feelings were a little hurt, but then I realized that there's a deeper meaning behind everything, and it's not necessarily that my old man wasn't happy for me to get a new SUV. It was just that his trauma and insecurities were triggered when I brought it home. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, when he saw my vehicle and he looked at his old Honda, he thought that me bringing home something with perceived more value was in a way a reflection of his lack of resources. And so through his insecurities, he went out and purchased the same one to make himself feel better. Now, when you realize that there's a deeper meaning, there's trauma behind why people do what they do, it helps you forgive them a lot easier. At least it did for me. So besides being easy on yourself, I highly recommend just being easy on the people that are still sleeping around you, that don't, aren't really aware of themselves. And that can be a lot easier said than done, but it's something you're going to need to do in order to maintain your sanity. So that's all I got in this video. Thanks for watching.